We good? We good?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 2 of Black Ink and Blue Blood. When we last left off, the party arrived at the Winter Ball, hosted by the Queen Wyborn. Entering, you find yourself in a political turnabout hosted by Wyborn, currently attended by President Ergos, the Father Khan Humor, King Song, and now Queens Autumnfall and Sundragon. Taking your time to pick out potential friends and enemies among the nobility, you've discovered that the Concord's machinations have indeed continued. Even without Dr. Knight's help, they have somehow managed to figure out a way to seemingly make even the most feral and unstable of Ichor beasts docile and obedient. Planning to use them as servants during the ball, potentially, as the party suspects, to foster a sense of goodwill among Yavik nobility, the party is now forced to grapple with being on the back foot, surrounded by their enemies. With any hope, potentially you can accrue some allies to make up the stopgap. The first of which appears to be King Song, who rather enthusiastically decided to join, even knowing the dangers. And when we last left off, the accompaniment of Autumnfall, as well as Queen Blackthorn and President Shadowlily, arrived at the ball. Shadowlily accompanied by the ever-present alchemist.
I just want to verify, was Wyson here? I know Wyborn is here, but I just...
Wyson has not arrived yet.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. So, as the new guests arrive, you have a couple hours before dinner is served and things potentially get more tense. So for now, you have some time. With that being said, Lucian, when we left you off, you had not yet decided who, if anyone, you wanted to speak to during this phase of the ball. Who do you wish to talk to?
So before I reveal that, let me just... Oh my god, sorry. Let me just verify. I can only talk to one person, like one noble?
If they're talking to each other, you can talk to both of them in a group, but basically, you can't, hold two different conversations with people on opposite sides of the room, basically.
Oh, okay, so, I can't be like, oh, hi, so-and-so, and then be like, okay, well, good visit, I'm gonna go over there.
Yeah, you very specifically cannot do that, because that would be rude as shit and make you look terrible.
I mean, what if I'm trying to be rude, though?
Sure, if you don't want any allies, go for it.
I mean, it's... Okay. So, in that case, before I go over there, what is Wyborn doing?
Wyborn and Ergos headed up to her office after inviting in Blackthorn and Shadowlily. You can go up there if you wish. She didn't make any indication that, like she said, her office is available for everyone if you have questions, but they are not at the ball with everyone else at the moment.
That is pretty sus. I'm gonna go with Zephyr over to Shadowlily.
Okay. Then that is where we will pick up. Zephyr, Lucian, as the two of you leave the table and approach the Shadowlily group, you can see the president's 8 ears kind of flatten to her to the sides, and she puts a hand on her elbow and looks away. But to her credit, she does at least offer up a polite greeting as you arrive.
Oh, Lucian's arms are crossed. She does not look happy.
Heir to Bedra, Miss Alefikir, it's good to see you. I'm glad you could make it.
Wait, who's talking?
Shadow Lily.
I'm gonna let Zephyr do and say what he wants. Come back to me after Zephyr's done.
Okay. Zephyr, for his part, the alchemist just gives you a smile, leaning on a walking staff, dressed in fine, kind of show-offy, bright blue robes. Always a pleasure seeing all of you. To what do I owe the pleasure? He holds out a hand to you, Zephyr.
Diplomaticness. Yeah, not me.
I believe the word you're looking for is diplomacy.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. But just curious. Figured you'd probably be the most interesting one to talk to.
Oh, you flatter me. I'm just here to conduct some business.
Well, make more deals.
That's how the world works, I'm afraid. Say, your boy king wouldn't be interested in broadening his coffers, would he?
You're gonna have to take that up with him.
Oh, I just might.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on your price.
I suppose it does indeed. Although the way things are going, he's probably going to need me sooner than later. Oh, but where are my manners? He gives a slight bow of respect to the both of you. I'm pleased to see that you are welcome just as the rest of us. If I were a more nervous man, I might say that we all get the honor of dying together.
Yeah. Well, how things are in this place. Frankly, I'm not really sure if it's safety, so I don't plan on staying.
Oh, I didn't expect as much. This isn't any more your habitat than it is mine. Which is why I don't care to pretend that you've approached me out of any form of diplomaticness, was it? Or out of any sense of manners and decorum. Is there something I can help you with, Your Highness?
Yeah, you are correct. The whole diplomacy and all that really don't interest me. So, just again, you seemed like the most interesting to talk to. I was curious, what have you been up to?
Oh, I've been rather busy. Come, let's walk and talk. I'll leave you ladies to your conversation. You can see the president shoots him like a visibly like, you motherfucker kind of expression, but he just smiles and tips his hat before holding a hand out to you, Zephyr, so you two can have some privacy if you wish.
I'll join him.
Lucy and the two of them walk away, leaving you with the president, who is still awkwardly refusing to look at you.
Oh, and Lucian is literally just staring her down with just her arms are crossed. She is very unhappy.
Well, it was nice to see you, I guess. And she starts stepping back.
Where
like
are you going?
It's obvious you don't want to talk to me. I'll just...
Oh no, I do very much want to talk to you. Very much.
You can see her hackles kind of raise, but she stops her retreat for now. At the very least, decorum and social contract keeping her bound in place.
That's what I'm hoping for, bitch.
But she does not push you. If If you're gonna get something out of her, you're gonna need to push for it.
All right. I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna like let the awkwardness like hang for like, just like a couple seconds. Just revel in the awkwardness. Let her feel whatever she's feeling, and she's just gonna go. So, are you going to tell me where you've been?
I've been busy.
Oh, really? And she kind of like raises her voice a little bit. Oh, really? Busy with what?
I have a kingdom to run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we kind of ensured that, didn't we? And, were you not planning on, upholding your part of the deal for that? Or...
I was...
Mm-hmm. Her arms are, like, crossed, and she's looking at her like, oh, I gotta hear this.
It's complicated. It's dealt with
I've
now.
got all night, honey.
I'll be there for the next battle. It's over with now. He's dead.
That's not the point. That's not the point.
She just bites her lip and looks away.
How could you do this?
You won. You didn't even need me there.
That's not the point, and you know it. Again,
Let's-
raising her voice to make a point.
Yeah, Caleb, I'll say, especially since you're not, like, occupied with anyone but Dimitri, yeah, like, especially with Lucian raising her voice twice, yeah, you can definitely pick up that something's going down.
Yeah, she is very
I
angry.
believe Shadow isn't. I guess Shadow Lily's one of the members who didn't show up, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but this is very personal, and Matthew knows why.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of get a little closer to her. I'll say, let's just say this. I'm gonna get into range with her, and she's just gonna kind of like tilt her head a little bit. Please continue, Your Grace. I'm very curious to what you've been doing this whole time.
An army doesn't assemble overnight. I said I would be there for the next battle.
Now, I specifically remember you saying if we killed that man, that you would join us. That's what I specifically remember.
I'm here, aren't I? What more do you want from me?
What do you think? And I'm gonna point over to Aggie. What do you think?
Okay,
Her eyes.
It's not me you
Caleb
have
is
to
going to-
apologize to.
Go ahead, Caleb.
yeah, Caleb was gonna come up and be like, "Is something the matter over here?"
Mind your own business, Caleb.
Well, now
You
I
can see-
certainly won't.
You can see several nobles are looking over at the conversation with visible interest now.
Is it really in the best? Is it really in everyone's best interest for allies to be arguing?
Are we allies, Shadow Lily?
Of course, we're allies.
Oh, is that so? Because if we were allies, you would have been there, right?
It wasn't even just me. Blackthorn wasn't there either.
Oh, don't worry, she's not off the hook. Don't worry about her. You worry about you, boo.
Lucian, do you think this is really the best place for this kind of talk?
Actually, yes, I do.
Well, this might be the setting, but I mean this specific place with these specific people around.
I just want, and she kind of like lowers her voice a little bit. I just want to know what gives you the right to do this to her. You have known her for how long? I've only known her for how long? And I have gone to the ends of the earth, and I will continue to do so. Don't apologize to me.
You can see her ears actually flick back at that. And her eyes narrow and the pupils turn into that more predatory slit as she does finally turn to look at you. And her hand that was awkwardly grabbing her elbows goes to her side. You don't know anything about me.
I know enough.
You don't. You don't know a god's damned thing about me. You don't know who I am. You don't get to tell me who I have to talk to and what I have to say.
Oh, really? Because the time that I have spent with her tells me everything that I know.
Then why are you still talking to me? If
Yes,
it's such a problem for you, why don't you just go?
Because I actually give a fuck about you. Surprise! I didn't save your ass just because it was convenient for me. Believe it or not, there are people around here who give a fuck about you. And it might, just for 1 second, be awesome if you would give a fuck about us.
You really think I don't care?
No, I don't. It's not what you say, it's what you do. It's always your actions. You know what they say, actions speak much louder than words.
yet your words are speaking very loudly right now.
She shoots a look over to Caleb. I told you to mind your own business. Didn't you have something to do?
Well, to be honest, I do, but they haven't shown up yet, so here I am, trying to make sure we don't start a fire that needs to be put out.
The only thing I intend to do here is to just... I just really... I'm not... I know I sound angry. I know I look angry. But I am disappointed in you.
You can see her expression turns neutral. Not awkwardly upset, but neither angry and defiant. Is that all you needed?
She kind of like takes a sharp intake of breath. Unless you have something to tell me. You're just gonna walk away like that? Okay, I can just go do something else. I can go be with somebody who wants to talk to me, who wants to be around me, who wants to be my ally.
Well, don't let me keep you then. And she turns to you, Caleb, and gives a bow. Always a pleasure, Your Highness.
Caleb will return the gesture and then look over to Lucian. Remind me again, what was the point of coming to this thing again?
He's not even gonna answer him. Now that he's gone, can I talk to somebody else or?
I'll say, given how that went, you can talk to one more person.
All right, I'm gonna go join Aggie and them over with Blackthorn. Now I have a now I have a bone to pick with her.
All right. Caleb, what will you be doing?
Oh, he'll just...
Caleb, you see her just kind of like look down at you and just kind of look you up and down and just snort and walk away without replying to you.
Just try not to continue to hurt the efforts that we came here for.
No reply.
Caleb just shakes his head and goes and sits back down. The point of this was to make allies, not run them off.
Dimitri kind of gives you a pat on the shoulder with a somewhat awkward smile. You know with his hearing, he definitely picked up that whole conversation. Well, it could be worse.
And honestly, I do actually believe you on that. It can get worse. That's what worries me.
He kind of swallows nervously and drums his hands on the table. Zephyr. As the alchemist walks you around the bar, you weave in between sorcerers and giants, mingling with the various nobility. And he gives you a slight smirk out of the corner of his eye, and you can tell he doesn't really believe that you're just here to catch up with him. He still suspects that you probably want something from him, but he indulges your earlier question and waves a hand idly. Well, after I didn't hear back from all of you, I assumed that my services would not be required. And lo and behold, according to the rumor mill, your kingdom's been prospering. Perhaps a little much so. My thorough congratulations to you and the boy who would be king.
Sounds like less would be, and sounds like he technically is king by some standard, but I'm not really sure if I would say congrats to me, considering I don't really go for the name.
Sure. But speaking from experience, my friend, proximity to nobility is its own form of nobility. Your friend Miss Alevikir knows all about that.
I'm sorry, I stepped away for 2 seconds. All I heard was a lefty here. What the fuck he say about me?
Dude, I hear it.
You don't know. You're all across the ball.
Can Amanda know? Because I'm petty?
Nope.
You, Matt.
Because he petty.
Yeah. I guess it has its perks. I find this whole nobility thing rather tiring.
Oh, I'm inclined to agree with you. Where I come from, things are a lot simpler. We don't have to have any of this pretense. So, am I to believe that I'm simply your entertainment for the evening, or now that we're alone, is there actually some business you wish to conduct? I don't typically bring my wares with me when I travel, but if you wish to place an order.
Where
I
the
think-
fuck would we have it shipped, bro?
He probably has his ways. But,
Like that part in Skyrim. I've been looking for you. Got something to deliver. Your hands only.
I'm not sure you have anything that really interests me.
You can see he gives a kind of like one of those expressions where he's pleasantly surprised. Entertainment it is then.
These balls aren't really my taste, so.
Well, I'd be more than happy to share some anecdotal tales if you'd be willing to share some of yours. After all, I've only been receiving the rumor mill. It'd be nice to get it straight from the grain.
Sure.
For my reference, Zephyr, if you're willing to regale him with your tale, is there anything you wish to specifically leave out?
No.
Alright. And he, in turn, entertains you with some offhand recounts of what he's been up to. The moment we got word of you all entering Barbarous and placing Toradana under siege, that certainly got her ladyship spooked. It is the first time in a long while that our country had to prepare for war. After all, given their connection, I suppose she had every reason to believe that it would be her head on a spike should this go poorly. I hear you managed to kill him. Or, well, you were there for it, at any rate.
Yeah.
reckon she's likely to want to meet the man who managed to put him underground. With your permission, I might pass word along. And you can see he's eyeing the argument that Lucian and Shadow Lily are having on the other side of the room and smirks a little bit. I'm a man who likes to hedge my bets, even when someone else at the table is determined to fold.
I know.
You and I are cut from the same thieving cloth.
As far as a meeting to who really did the deed, I'm not really sure if it's in my authority to really just give that to you.
He does that kind of slow, kind of crooked nod of the head of like, fair, fair. And shrugs. Well, you know how these sorts of events are. Rumors spread like fire. And counter-gossip provides oil. Oh, but other than that, I've been keeping an eye on things. Watching the wheels turn, ever present. After that little act of conquest you and your friends did, all eyes are on you this week. I suspect even the Concord is determined to monitor you. And he snaps his fingers and points to the lantern still hovering over him. Although, I'm assuming you're still making an effort to avoid yours, so.
Yeah.
So you can see his following him, but he doesn't seem to pay it much mind. So, with prying eyes taken into factor, let me just say it is always a pleasure to meet with the heir apparent. I do hope we can do some more business in the future.
As I mentioned, I don't have any interest in heir apparent, so I wouldn't get your hopes up with that.
It matters not to me whether you're the heir apparent or a Tabadran peasant. Either way, you have pockets that, well, let's just say what passes in and out of them is of great interest to me.
Yeah.
Weird.
But I guess I should inform you, as someone who should, information tends to be key. It seems. It would seem I've been informed that the servants are bigger beasts themselves.
Oh yes, so I've heard.
Oh, and he kind of looks over to the gargoyles and kind of points towards them. I'm not sure if they're alive or not. Didn't really care to get too much closer look, but apparently those little gargoyles are, I guess, are also. They look like dead acre beasts, but who knows? But then.
Now that is interesting. I might have to take a look at them. Thank you. Oh, and, well, you are right, information is valuable, and I would hate to be in your debt. So, tit for tat. He puts a hand on your shoulder and leans in. It would look to anyone else like he's just giving you like a kind of like friendly, like, the sort of like respectful but like demonstrating friendliness hug of nobility. But as he gets close to your head, he whispers, "When she arrives, you might want to keep an eye on Dimebog. You'll come to regret not taking my earlier offer."
Yeah, I kind of knew
What?
that was gonna come.
He leans leans back and gives you a smile as if he had not said anything ominous and pats you on the shoulder.
Nothing ominous here.
It's been wonderful catching up with you, Zephyr. Oh, but please, regale me with your tale. Your travels sound much more exciting than mine. And as you begin to orbit the ball, talking with the alchemist, Caleb, as you sit back down with Dimitri on the other side of the table, Sundragon and Blackthorn talk, and Lucienne approaches with fury in her eyes. As you approach, Sundragon looks up to you, Lucienne, and initially goes to give a smile, but then when she notices your expression, kind of hesitates, and her brow furrows in concern. Blackthorn looks to you with a tilt of her head and gives you a smile and a wave. Oh, hi, Miss Lefikir. Hey, Lou, you all right?
She kind of like takes a very deep breath, trying to stay calm. Not working very well. Yeah, just you know, politics. Hi, Your Majesty. How are you? Fakest smile you've ever seen in your life.
You're not sure if she notices. If she does, she doesn't comment on it. She just gives you a smile and a bow of the head. Oh, it's always so nice to see you. It's been a long time since the last ball.
Yeah, it has been some time, you know. I was kind of expecting to see you. And she kind of like takes a very sharp intake of breath earlier. And she kind of like says this through like gritted teeth, but like she looks like she's smiling.
She tilts her head and gives a curious expression. Really? Why?
You know, we were, you know, in battle and, you know, the whole alliance thing. And she kind of like blinks. Like still like gritted teeth, fake smile, the works.
Oh. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I was trying to find some mercenaries, but, you know, it's... You know, a lot of contracts are getting bought up with after what happened at the last ball. So it was hard to find anyone. Anyone I could find didn't really seem like they were a good fit. So I was hoping to filter.
Filter?
Plus, I mean, I heard what happened to... You can see her expression kind of becomes a bit more dour, and Sundragon kind of puts a hand on her shoulder.
At that, Lucian kind of... Her expression softens.
Agnes kind of looks around. Obviously, she can't do much about the fact that people might overhear, so she kind of gives you a very serious, like, basically, please understand this without me having to be blunt with you, and kind of slowly says, we both lost a lot whenever we had that fight at my city.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I couldn't be there. After Sophist, I was scared of if something might happen. And I didn't know who I was willing to potentially trade away.
Sacrifice?
Yeah. So I was really trying to find mercenaries, but there's just not enough of them anymore.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, Sundragon kind of nods her head. They've been talking for a few minutes before you got here, so you imagine she's already been kind of caught up on a lot of this. Normally, mercenaries are a dime a dozen in Yav, but past few years, numbers have been slowly dropping. And after what happened at the ball, I guess everyone who was left, their contracts got eaten up. My guess is just about every kingdom wants protection. There wasn't anybody left for me to send to you. I'm sorry.
Can I insight her?
Roll insight.
Actually, sorry? Does she actually look? Let's find out. Insight plus 9. No, I know what insight is, D&D Beyond. Stop it! Stop it! Oh my god!
Just click the number.
I did! And it just keeps on like, oh, here's the information about insight.
I got it.
No, I got it. It's finally, I had to, like, exit it. And, okay, 18 plus 9.
Alright.
27.
She seems like she's being forthright.
Okay.
Given the circumstances, it doesn't surprise you. And consider that in your travels, despite how common mercenary bands are, you've only seen like 3 over the last year.
Right.
And thanks to you guys' efforts, it's now reduced to 1. So, yeah, like, it does stand to reason, and she does seem like she's being serious with you. And at the very least, you get the impression she's not a very good liar. So even if she was trying to lie, you feel confident you would know.
Do I? Okay, I don't know if I need to do another insight. Do I feel like she's actually, actually sorry?
Yeah, like I said, you feel like she's being forthcoming.
Okay. Alright, with that, Lucian seems satisfied. At least you. And she just kind of trails off, takes a deep breath. It is good to see you.
You too. How have you been?
Busy.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense, saving the world and all.
Yeah, it's not an easy job, but, you know, got the duty to do.
She gives a nod of understanding and looks to Agnes, who just kind of pats her on the shoulder, and I'm glad you came. I was worried you wouldn't. You kidding me? Party's the one time I get to get out of the house.
Lucian looks like she wants to say something, but doesn't.
Agnes kind of gestures for you to sit next to her so that she's between the two of you, and kind of just smiles, and as she leans back, kind of waves a hand idly. So, how's the little tadpole doing? Oh, it's so great to have her back in the castle. You know, just the other day, and she starts to just entertain the two of you with anecdotes. Lucian, do you have any further political business?
I guess, I will ask her, well, now that Barbarous has been taken care of, do you plan on, you know, helping out a little bit more?
She pauses at that mid-story and kind of looks to Agnes, who considers for a moment and kind of shakes her head and puts a hand on her arm. Ika, I know it's hard, but we can't grieve forever. We'll have time for that after.
I mean, think about the life we'll have after the war. Like, that's what I'm fighting for. And she kind of while she says that, she's looking at Agnes.
But we don't know if we're gonna have one. These people are dangerous, and what if we're not strong enough?
Well, let me tell you something. When you have something worth fighting for, you know that, you know, it's worth it. You know? Even if something does happen, at least you tried.
She kind of swallows and looks askance. people away for this. But I will help you.
In what way?
I'm a sharpshooter. One of the best in Yav.
Oh, I know.
If you just tell me where we need to go, I'll go. Ika, you're the queen. Your people need you. I need them more. If I can fight these things so that they don't have to, I'll do it. I'm sorry, I can't give you an army, but
No, it's okay.
I can give you me.
I mean, like you said, you're the best of the best, and I mean, Kero's pretty good too, but you know, she learned from the best. And I mean, I would love to see Kero again. Maybe you can take Kero, and you guys can take care of each other.
No, it's too dangerous.
It's not. And even if it was, that's why we have to stick together. That's why you have us. Yes, it's dangerous, but we're all in it together. Hand in hand. And we fight for what's right.
She drums her fingers together anxiously. You're starkly reminded that she's only like a year or two older than Caleb.
Yeah.
She is far too young to have this kind of power and be forced to make this kind of decision.
Plus, me and Aki would never let anything bad happen to you or your people.
But people died when you took Toradana.
People
Your
died.
people.
Yeah. I'm sorry to be blunt, but I mean, people die. That's what they do. But at least they died fighting for something that they believed in.
It's too dangerous outside the walls.
Well, why don't you ask them? You know, only take the ones that want to go.
It's complicated. I'm the queen. What if they just say yes because they're supposed to? I can't be the one who leads them to their deaths. Miss Olivakir, I can't.
Can I ask them? But I make a rally, and you know, you can give them permission. If they want to go, they can go. But they have no obligation.
She bites her lip and kind of looks askance.
And then
Agnes
Lucian
kinda-
also bites her lip a little bit.
Agnes kind of looks at the two of you. Face seeming idle, but you get the impression she's, you know, for the first time in probably a while, the gears are turning. A little bit of cobwebs being shaken off.
Ooh, that's my girl.
Ika, I know you're great at what you do, but it would make me feel a lot better if you had people out here instead of you. I'm leading them out here because they expect me to, and because I know I can handle it. You're... what? Too young?
No.
I know you're strong. I can't lose you too, Ika.
I wouldn't want that either. It's not that you're not too young or not strong enough. It's like Aki said, your people need you. They look to you for everything. They look up to you.
You're probably one of the only places in Yav where the people living in the kingdom actually like you.
Yeah.
If you convince my people to go with you, I'm not gonna hold them prisoner, but I'm going with you. And that's that.
I will say it is her choice, Aggie, if she wants to go. And I will make this promise to you. If you need me to, I will help you.
Agnes kind of sighs. You see that flash. You get the impression when they were growing up together that she very much has been in this sort of position multiple times.
Yeah.
As long as you don't come alone. And try not to wander off, okay?
Yeah.
I know you want to help, but
Yeah, stay with us, and when we're ready to fight, you can just pick out a position, and when we're done, we can party.
okay. But you're still gonna have to convince the people of Blackthorn to leave. We haven't left the walls in decades.
You got it. I will. I'm no queen, but I do tend to be persuasive when I want to be.
When you want to be.
And trust me, I want to be.
Just make sure you let your friends cross-check you before you start talking.
She kind of like furrows her brow. What do you mean? What does that mean?
I mean, given that your advice to being scared of dying was people die, tough shit. I mean, sure, that'd motivate me, but, you know. And she kind of knocks against her head.
I mean, I'm sorry that's rude or whatever, but, like, I mean... Is that not what I'm supposed to... She kind of, like... Is that not what you say?
Maybe let your friends do the talking, Lou. And she kind of pats you on the head.
I mean, I'm good at talking to people. I just don't understand what's wrong with saying that people die because, like, it's true.
You're not military, are you?
No.
No, you don't.
Well, I mean, like I said, if people die, then at least they die something that's worth fighting for. And I don't know about you, but even though it sucks ass to live in Yav, at least if we work together, we can all eat shit together, you know?
Color me convinced. Blackthorn kind of tilts her head. You get the impression she either doesn't fully understand some of what you're saying, or is trying to just, like, be like, all eat shit together? Am I motivated?
You know, yeah, it sucks to be here, but, you know, it's home.
Like I said, we'll have to see what the people think. I'm willing to help, but if it makes you feel better, I know you really want to go, and I know you've wanted to leave the walls for a while. Maybe leave Caro and your squire in charge for a while. Let them take care of things back home. Even if your people don't want to leave, at least they won't be without a leader. Blackthorn kind of nods slowly, seeming a little mollified.
Yeah, and Caro is really good with people. And I know that she will take extra care of everything for you.
Blackthorn gives a smile, seeming at least convinced by that much, and kind of kicks her feet idly as she looks around and leans in to totally obviously conspire with the two of you. Well, I'm here now. So how's the Alliance doing?
Oh my god. So...
Yeah, as you start catching her up.
At this point, I want to I want to introduce the idea of the Lorelei Council with her and see if maybe she wants to join.
Which she considers for a moment before giving a small kind of side-to-side tilt of the head. Sure, I guess. I can just send letters, right?
Well, yeah, and I'm kind of like planning on converting one of like the forts into like a big council room, and I'm thinking like maybe like once a year we could like kind of like the ball, but like with the alliance, and we all meet up and we would be like, okay, this is what we're going to do this year.
She seems a little more at ease with that description and gives a slow nod. Well, I guess leaving only a few times a year isn't so bad.
Like only like maybe once, and if if you want to, if you want to send somebody in your set, like a trusted person, like Carol could come, or like one of your like trusted advisors could come, as long as they like have proof that you sent them.
Yeah, just send a messenger. You know how these balls are, Ika. Most of these could have just been a letter.
Aggie literally just said it could have been an email.
No, yeah, I was literally thinking, like, how do I medieval get across this could have been an email?
Perfect for Aggie.
But yes, Blackthorn seems interested in the idea as long as basically she's not required to be physically present.
And Lucian kind of frowns and looks over to Shadow Lily, kind of sighs. I may have been a little hard on President Shadow Lily.
Why? What's wrong?
She also didn't show up when she literally agreed to show up.
Agnes just shrugs. We have Blackthorn and we have Song. We don't need her.
Can I insight her?
Roll insight.
That was interesting.
Also,
I think Caleb probably do you think Caleb could talk a bit, or is it too late?
oh yeah, you're good. Like yeah, since you're not occupied with anyone else, and I mentioned earlier you were sitting nearby, yeah, you can absolutely come in.
What number
Oh.
is that?
I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see things are being much more civil.
13 plus 9.
Okay. Caleb, in response to you, Blackthorn leans over and gives a wide smile and waves to you enthusiastically. Hi, Caleb! Oh, she gives a... Still sitting down, so it's not formal or appropriate at all, but she gives you a little curtsy and bow. I mean,
Aw.
Your Majesty.
Caleb will return the gesture. It is a pleasure to meet you.
It hasn't been that long. She kind of curls one of her dark hairs around her finger.
I didn't know
idly.
Caleb had met her before.
It was like super in passing, but she's like aware of you.
You
Well-
met her like ages ago, back at the first ball.
Well, consider this a more formal meeting. It was
Yeah.
more in passing before.
Yeah, these balls aren't really good for her making friends. I heard about you becoming king.
Yeah, it took a bit of work, but it was done.
She gives you a playful wink and points to herself. Well, if you ever need advice from one little king to another, you just say the word. I'm an expert.
She's so precious. Stop.
You know, I just realized this alliance has some of the youngest kings and queens on this continent.
Well, maybe that's a good thing. I mean, it's the new generation, right? And she kind of looks at Blackthorn with a smile.
She gives a playful salute and like kind of trying to look as serious as she can. Just, the apprentice shall supersede the master. You see, this is why people underestimate us. It's probably a good thing, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. They should underestimate us. So when we beat their asses, we can look at their faces.
Agnes gives an approving grin. Blackthorn looks to you, and you realize with a like inner startlement, she's genuinely like amazed that you swore. I thought you said I wasn't allowed to use words like that, and you're still not.
She said that to Aggie?
Yeah, like basically it's clear Agnes has put a rule, no swearing.
Isn't she older than her?
Significantly, yes.
Okay, yeah. So Lucian will just be like, yeah, them's the rules. I mean, older sibling trumps.
That's not fair. And Agnes doesn't react at all, but you do see a few nobles look to you with a raised eyebrow.
Oh no! Oh no!
You really got to be
Oh,
more
no!
careful.
I just realized what I did. Oh!
And Lucian, for your earlier insight check, while you process that,
Whoopsie daisy!
I warned you.
Everything you say can and will be used against you.
The two siblings don't react at all to your declaration. Likely Blackthorn is too young and naive to understand the implications, and Agnes just doesn't care.
Okay, good. At least that's literally all I care about.
Well, yeah, they don't care.
Well, you know, everybody else can fuck off.
I think it is ultimately good for this alliance to have an early victory with some, you know how it is. People have to see youth as a weakness, easy to exploit and all that.
Mm-hmm. But now we've achieved the biggest act of conquest in a century. Well,
I know
you
it's
guys.
Well, I mean, you're not like in the party, but like you're in the cool club, so like, you know,
I'm cool?
yeah, definitely.
The coolest. And Lucian, for your earlier insight check, Sundragon is definitely just veiling deep hurt over just a veneer of indifference.
Yeah. Well, I do not regret my action. Perfect.
It was a shame to see some of your, to see that you didn't decide to come out for it.
Yeah, I was just telling Miss Alephakir and Agnes, it's been hard to find mercenaries looking for work these days. Everyone's looking for protection after the ball, not to mention all the pirate attacks.
Stop. You can call me Lucian, you know.
I can?
Absolutely.
Well, then you can call me Ikaria.
You got it.
Well, I was hoping to see at least some presence. I know you don't leave very often, but this Tabadrians know very well that many of your people are very good with ranged weapons.
The best. And we'll see. If we were talking to Lucian about it, if you guys are willing, you're welcome to visit the walls, and if you convince them to come with you, I won't stop them. But
yeah, I was just telling her that like I think I can convince them to come with us if they want to. Like, you know, it's no forcing or obligation, but you know, I think I can muster up a good speech.
Agnes kind of glances to Lucian and then shoots you a look, Caleb, of like, please tell me you're helping.
I've never made a speech before, so like you guys don't know if I can or not. So
Yeah, but your allies have seen you talk to your other potential allies enough times.
True, but those were different things.
It's up to you guys, but I'll need to make some arrangements back home, but just tell me where we're heading next after the ball and I'll be there.
Yeah, I think we're going to use the time that we have here to figure out exactly where we're going. I know that I need to go to Wicket and take care of, and she kind of like looks down at her hands, a few things.
A few things I thought we already would have taken care of by now.
She, at first, she kind of glances at him and like narrows her eyes a little bit, but just kind of closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. We can discuss that later, Caleb.
Well, we got time. It's good to have you in the field, Ika. We could really use you out there.
Absolutely.
Maybe you can give Caleb some pointers for fighting at a distance. Are you a sniper too?
Oh yeah, he blew the head off of Trapu. Trapu?
Point of inspiration, Lucian. And she literally like sits up off the seat to sit on the table to get a better look at you, Caleb, and with her eyes sparkling, just immediately starts fucking info dumping about like the ins and outs of sniping.
Caleb get anything out of this info dump, or is it just aimed?
Is it very Lucian-esque?
Lucian-esque, but more in that sense that, like, she definitely is that kind of person who, like, is just genuinely really enthused about what she's talking about. And
Usually that way.
the information is coherent. It's more just, like, unexpectedly verbose from her.
Are you trying to say that Lucian's not enthusiastic? Because she is.
She's giving you a lot of genuinely useful pointers, and if you try to correct her, like, well, technically I prefer to use guns to bows, she just immediately like corrects, like, it to, oh well, it's slightly different whenever you're using a musket. You see what you wanted to, and just starts rattling off. You get the impression this is a girl who has deeply invested herself in this as a pastime during those years in the castle.
That's probably all she has to do.
Yeah, pretty much just, rule the kingdom as before you, the youngest queen in Yav, and in her free time practice shooting.
Still the youngest queen in Yav.
True. As she excitedly info dumps to you. Again, the information is genuinely useful, if nothing else. And Agnes just kind of listens with a smile. You get the impression she's really missed her. Zephyr.
I'll say that Lucian's happy to sit there and, listen and, interact when appropriate.
Out of curiosity, does Caleb know the story of why the people of Blackthorn, never fucking leave?
Roll history.
History. I don't actually have my sheet up right now. I forgot to pull that up.
I got two people I need to hound.
Immediately, I was like, get on him!
There it is. Okay. My mind is going blank now. What was the roll?
History.
History, okay.
You give me shit for that all the time.
Okay, 17.
To learn what you had to roll.
Oh man, you know there's a DM out there who does that.
Yeah, fuck 'em.
Caleb, you do at least vaguely recall, given Tebadra's history of conflict with Blackthorn. After Ikaria took power, she she basically instituted a policy that, in her mind, if she could keep any conflict outside of the walls, and basically keep her people completely uninvolved, it would lead to a safer and more prosperous kingdom. Essentially, her mindset is, if nobody leaves, nobody can cause trouble. If nobody causes trouble, nobody will bother us. And if the people who bother us do come to pick a fight, we'll stay here. So basically, her rather than dance the political dance of trying to justify wars and conquests or battles, she decided to just turn every battle into a siege that you have to start. As somebody who plays a lot of Civilization, think of her as basically taking the mindset of how the AIs in Civ will never pick a fight with you, so they force you to be the one who declares war, so it makes you look worse. It's like that.
Okay.
Yeah, she basically does it as both a political maneuver to keep her people out of conflict, and as a more logistical effort of, if she ever does want to get involved in things, which she does have a history of occasionally doing, she'll send mercenaries to do it for her, hire adventurers to, if say there's like rumors of, let's say just as a random example, there's rumors of an invasion of Spear Maiden invading Struth again, she would hire adventurers to go intervene, so that her people aren't involved. Nothing directly connects to her, but she's still trying to get involved and, do some good as long as she and her people aren't in danger.
I see.
So historically, she's well-intentioned, but refuses to get directly involved, both for political and safety reasons.
Also, is she still rambling?
Yeah,
Yes, but you're free to interrupt her if you need to.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wanted to interrupt her, but I'll let Caleb go first.
Well, Caleb was just gonna kind of let her go. She seems like she doesn't get to spiel very often, so if Lucy wants to interrupt, she's free to do so.
All right, Lucian.
I mean, it feels rude now.
It feels rude when you're the one who has to do it.
I mean, I'm always the one who has to fucking do it. What are you saying?
I'm gonna let her finish.
I'm gonna be like, I'll let her finish and like wrap up what she's saying. Because Lucian knows very much what it feels like to info dump and she does the same thing. She's like, yeah, girl, do it. And then when there's an opening, I do want to say something.
Okay.
It's just like, okay. So, by the time she's done, dinner is ready.
As the two of you silently agree to politely let her finish, she seems enthusiastic. And Zephyr, you shoot the shit with the alchemist. We turn our attention to you and your your tense exchange with the Father Khan, who levels his kitchen knife in your direction to indicate it is your turn to pry for information if you wish to.
I did have a question the last session.
Did you write it down?
I did actually. So, what is your kill count?
What's your kill count? That would be the only thing he's interested in.
He's a warrior, of course. That's what he's interested in.
At that, he actually kind of leans back in thought and that's a question, huh? He tilts his head side to side in thought. You almost get the impression that he hasn't consciously thought about it in a while, and has happened to kind of think it out.
That's Matthew Ford. Let me bring up my notes.
Yeah, actually, yes, legit.
You said last session that the Father Crown's biggest thing is he wants to kill as many people as he can before he dies. Yes.
Yes.
Westus has an idea.
Oh no.
But I want to get
Well,
his kill count first.
Why? Oh my god.
let me ask you something. This is important. My own hands, or ever since this? And he gestures to his current state.
I would say the grand total till now, because even if you didn't do it yourself, you instigated it. Someone would pull its strings, you know?
He gives you a small nod, seeming honestly in his own weird way to actually like genuinely appreciate you considering that as a part of it.
Oh my god. I'm gonna puke.
No comment on that one.
Well, it's been a while since I, counted the notches. But, he kind of kicks his knees side to side idly and shrugs. I'd say about
Oh,
10,000 with my own hands.
Wait,
But-
you said he kicked his knees together? I thought you said he was like paralyzed.
He can't walk, but he can move his legs. He just can't actually walk.
Oh.
Remember, he has his feet put in like healing clay. Whatever happened during his fight with the giant, put his actual feet just completely beyond repair. I'd say it's about 10,000 just with my own hands, but ever since I actually got to be in charge, that puts it up a lot. Gotta be getting close to 1 million by now.
Yeah, it'll actually whistle like, dang, that's a pretty high number.
He gives you a smirk and a nod. Thanks. My dad said I needed to be the best, so I became the best.
Your biggest wish is to kill as many people as you can, right?
Yeah.
I know I said I wasn't going to try to convince you to come over to our side.
Oh, gods.
Well, at least hear me out. It might actually be interesting.
He waves a hand, clearly not interested, but just not wanting to argue with you about it.
What if we could offer you more kills for fighting with us than against us?
That's cute that you think that's possible. You haven't met her yet, have you?
Heard about her? But just imagine if you get to add that kill to your belt.
One thing you learn quickly in my line of work, kid, is some contracts you just shouldn't take. She's offering me a seat in the new world she's building. Why would I give that up and the chance to watch you suffer so that you can tell me who I can and can't kill?
I never said I'd tell you who you could or couldn't kill.
So, what would you say if I said I was interested? But he lets his eyes rove around the ballroom before he sees Lucian talking with Caleb Sundragon and Blackthorn on the opposite side and grins.
Oh dear God.
If I said that I was getting tired of the Elifakir drama and wanted to deal with it permanently.
Oh, he found my weak spot.
He smirks as he sees you hesitate. Well, you said I could kill anyone I want. How about I start with her and we seal this alliance in blood? And he holds his hand out to you.
As tempting as that one is, I won't.
You bitch.
Hey, you've done worse.
He does not.
But as long as you are willing to accept consequences, aka your own death, before you get that chance, then so be it. But that seems a little narrow-sighted, in my opinion.
You want to talk about narrow-sighted? You know, there are people in the Concord who actually believe there's going to be anything left after this is all over.
Once the lady in white gets what she wants, the Concord won't have any power. She doesn't share, not really. She'll take what she wants and kill the rest.
Sure. So, the way I see it, and he kind of walks, kind of twirling the kitchen knife between his fingers as he watches it spin. I'm a dead man either way. You don't have a chance in any of the hells. And at least this way I get to have some fun first.
Go ahead, try it. I dare you.
You might be able to get some fun fighting against us. But how much more fun could you have turning on the people who, quote unquote, thought you were weak and an ally? They're not expecting you to turn on them.
You think they think I'm weak? You know, Wyborn sought me out because she knows I'm the best.
Yeah, she knows your country is the best at this point. What about you?
She sought me out personally. With my kill count, with my skills, and with the army I lead now, I could destroy any country in Yav if I wanted to. Wicket, Blackthorn, even your little Tebager friends down in the ass crack of the tropics. I send the giants coming over the sea. You fall. He snaps his fingers. Like that.
Yes. To destroy the people that really matter. You're so sure that the rest of us are going to die soon before we even get to the Lady in White. So why not destroy the other ones? Add to your own power.
Because I get more power from them than I get from you. I'm one of the richest countries in Yav, even after giving up a city and a bunch of territory for it. We're scientifically advancing. This Kaloum guy is giving me anything I could possibly want. He even said if I wanted to, he could make me walk again.
Well, I wouldn't count on that one for too much longer.
Going after him first.
It's personal.
Well, let me tell you, it's about to get a whole lot more personal when you see what he has planned next.
What do you mean by that?
He gives a shrug and leans to the side idly, his expression bored as he looks over the ballroom. I don't know. Just saying, it would be a shame if someone was to crash the party. I do love weddings, don't you?
Yeah, I kind of saw that coming too.
You wouldn't go that far, would he?
Oh yeah, he would.
He smirks and leans over the table with a wide grin. You can't even imagine how far that guy's willing to go. I'm an assassin. I don't kill because it's personal. I kill because it's fun. And because it pays well. But him, he's only got eyes for you. The number of nights that asshole's kept me up ranting about you through the night.
Oh, he's obsessed with you.
Oh boy.
He's not gonna stop, man. Not until you, that pretty sister of yours, and your bastard of a father are all dead.
That I understand. I've got one last question for you, and
All right.
more likely than not, you'll get a kick out of it because it's going to cause me a lot of pain knowing what's coming. How long do we have?
Depends. You or everyone else here?
Dad, I'm not a crazed gunman, Dad.
That
What?
came through bad.
What the fuck was that?
I was like, when do GIFs have audio? But he, tilts
Wait, what
the
happened?
kitchen. What's up?
What happened?
Your the audio over the video you're watching came through.
Oh fuck! Why do you do this? Why do you randomly do this? I don't know why it randomly does that. It'll, like,
I
it, like,
seriously
doesn't do
jumped.
that most of the time. It doesn't do that most of the time, but then, like, at some point, it will just randomly fucking do it out of nowhere, and it's like, what the fuck? It's like, why do you just randomly decide to do
I
this?
genuinely had a moment of like, am I hallucinating?
Yeah, no, I had the same thought. I was like, I'm hallucinating. Great, okay.
Yeah, like I seriously jumped when that happened. Like, oh my
I'm
goodness,
sorry, I
that's
didn't-
doing battle
I don't know
sound.
why it does that.
But it was like perfectly timed because like Gil was all like, "How much time do we have?" And then like just like it was just like we were assaulted with like
I don't know why it's weird. It
That's all good.
doesn't because like it doesn't do it for like months, right? And then just
Mm-hmm.
out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh, it's fine. It hasn't done it in a while. And then I fucking play a video, and then bam. Also, hopefully, Twitch don't ban us for
It's
copyright.
just like 2 seconds. Should be fine.
Well, that'll be a fun little Easter egg in the stream.
But in response to you, he gestures to the ballroom and gives a smirk. Depends. You or everyone else here?
How long till she gets here?
So
I know Kaloum revived her.
oh, not
Oh.
who what you're talking about. Nor him, I can tell.
Well, if you believe the political mill, she should be here in about 4 days.
It didn't happen again, did it?
No,
No.
you're good. Let me tell you, I'm interested to see what exactly you're planning next. Because he puts his hands out in one of those, like, almost like sarcastic jazz hands kind of displays. Let's just say the doctor knows how to put on a show.
Yeah.
Wonder if bring Lucifer.
Well, in exchange, you get to ask me one more question.
Yeah, I guess I did technically ask you a question earlier. Not sure if you're really good at negotiating or if you were just too stupid to realize. He taps his knife against the table idly. Let me ask
I'm
you.
Gyogrin. What do you expect?
Not an answer. I like it. Let me ask you then, Mr. Gyogre. He leans back casually, clearly going out of his way to not give you any commendation or title. I've seen how far your friends are willing to go. The Debadrins will take anything, kill anyone to get what they want. Same goes for your little elf friend. I don't know if you heard it, but she's not exactly making friends. She's obsessed with that musclehead of an ally of yours. Tell her that I think I'm gonna kill her first. But that still leaves me with you. You as ruthless as you were before you died, or did you go soft once we dug you out of the ground? How far are you willing to go to beat us?
I'm ruthless enough to survive and keep as many people that I care about alive as I can.
Might not have a choice. But it's an answer. He puts his hands up. Dinner will be out soon. What do you think you'll be having? I hear the servants here know how to cook something great.
Yeah, I heard great things about their abilities.
Oh yeah, one of a kind. Or three of a kind, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not over.
By your leave, then, I have strategies to make.
I'm sure you do. Knock yourself out. And I'm looking forward to seeing you soon.
What's this? Will give a slight bow. Where's that fucking alcohol?
It'll be out soon. Patience, little bug. He flicks the knife so that it twirls on the table like a rogue compass and grins as you take your leave.
He's going to go find the others.
All right.
Not whether or not he meant the Ichabus are going to ambush us, or his sister, under the guise of Columbus, is going to ambush us, or both.
I thought it was
Is remained to be seen.
Well, maybe you should ask somebody else.
What's is, as you return to the main table, you see the elevator comes down with a tinny rattle. Zephyr, you and the alchemist step to be in the crowd of giants and sorcerers. Those of you at the main table looking up as you see Queen Wyborn and President Ergos step out, still dressed in their fineries. And Wyborn raises her naked arm for the attention of those at the ball. With a smile, she gestures in all directions, and I'm so glad you all were able to make it. I wish you all a deeply happy and satisfactory Kupalo. May the solstice lead us into a satisfactory season. As we prepare for the season ahead, on behalf of my patron, the Scar Concord welcomes you all.
Her friend, is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And to show that there are no hard feelings for any previous incidences we may be associated with, dinner is served.
Oh.
And you can see the arm she has under the cloak raised slightly, and the elevator returns, and slowly stumbling out come a squadron of 12 feral but covered in coats to prevent leaking ichor beasts.
Immediately going to take Agnes's hand and just hold her hand.
And Agnes lets you take her hand, and with her other arm brings Icaria in close in a one-armed hug. Blackthorn watches the ichor beasts with a mixture of fear and you notice a very obvious degree of curiosity.
Don't let it fool you.
I'm not. I'm just curious.
Don't.
Caleb, next to you, Dimitri shudders as presumably he can hear the sounds they're making as they take their steps into the ballroom.
Oh,
Is that what they sound like?
yeah. It's just
Fortunately.
different.
Zephyr, the alchemist, gives you a smirk down to you and nods towards the coming servants. Well, I'm feeling quite starved, aren't you?
Are you
You
gonna
said they,
with him?
I guess I could eat, but, you know, I'll at least check it first.
I doubt there'll be any need for that.
Who was
Oh.
he talking to?
Zephyr,
No, who was Zephyr talking?
the alchemist.
Yeah, that
Oh, okay.
He's probably fucking immune or some shit.
The servants slurp all around the ballroom. You can see they're
What?
carrying...
Why, Matthew?
in one hand, they're carrying a tray of what appears to be various servings of, judging by the smell and texture, appears to be some kind of pork. And in the other tray, they're carrying what appears to be frothing bottles and glasses of some sort of wine.
Lucian looks really uncomfortable because, you know, he's vegetarian.
and make sure it's nice and frothing.
Matthew, I will roll.
Wine isn't supposed to be frothing.
Matthew, I have a question.
Yes.
So I will roll whatever you want me to roll, but from my lessons with my mother about, like, you know, party stuff that
Party etiquette.
yeah, party etiquette. We'll say that's a good word. So, according to my mother, would it be impolite to not eat,
Incredibly.
even though I don't like the food?
Yep. You're basically telling them, like, I don't like your hospitality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would those be
Looks great.
my mother's words?
That wasn't her exact words, but that was basically the point she got across.
Yeah, her exact word is, "You will fucking eat that damn."
Yeah, you will fucking eat that shit, Lucian! Yes, ma'am.
But yeah, no, she even shared anecdotes that sometimes whenever like an is starting to take power, current nobility will deliberately serve them like nauseating and disgusting food, basically in a specific attempt to sabotage them. And the only way the trial is if you just quite literally stomach it.
Lucian's just gonna kind of like eye Sundragon and like, oh, what am I gonna do?
The Ickerby servants approach each of you and put a glass of wine, a plate of pork, and while they do not leave the bottle with you, they do fill each of your glasses.
What's this? Well,
Did they? Are their hands anywhere near the food or drink whenever they do?
They only go under it to like scoop up the plate, but otherwise don't touch it.
I was like, can Caleb see like where the advisors and the generals are?
You can see they are currently sitting on a table across the ballroom from you, with some of the giants and sorcerers, presumably talking business.
Did they have any reaction to this?
They look to the Ichor Beasts with kind of similar to Blackthorn, curious expressions. You can roll insight if you want to get more, but that's what you're definitely able to guess. They're curious. The giants seem completely nonplussed. The sorcerers seem like actively nauseated.
With good reason.
Because like, I have a slight problem.
Lucian, like, okay, so has everybody in the entire, like, ballroom seen these creatures?
Just a sec, Lou. Go ahead, Caleb.
Because like, there's a slight problem.
Don't worry,
Who are you saying this to?
He was
Or
just
the
kind of,
table?
yeah, he was kind of saying it like out loud, like for the Concord to hear.
You can see
What?
Wyborn's head tilt a little bit, and she looks to you with a smile and steps towards your table and gives a slight bow with a hand
so-
over her chest.
If I remember right, at the last ball, wasn't there ichor in the food?
Yes.
literally about to do this.
I hope no one has forgotten, but there may have been little surprises in the food at the last ball.
And not to mention these things, and she kind of like gestures at the Ichor monsters, made quite the uprising.
I understand your hesitation, but... And she similarly raises her voice to ensure she's heard.
Hesitation, Your Grace. These things have murdered people. Are you aware of this?
Of course, and my deepest condolences to the noble blood that was spilled on my patron's behalf. But, as you can see, the creatures have been fine-tuned, rendered obedient. She gestures for one of the servants that just poured your wine, Caleb, to approach her. The creature slorps towards her and looks up to her. And in front of everyone, she rears a hand back and slaps them. Ichor spatters over the ballroom floor as the creature lets out a... But then it goes back into place and does not react.
How hard does she slap it?
Hard enough to send chunks of it flying.
Clearly, there's something right here.
I'm going to take the entire bottle. He needs it.
Caleb is going to be like, and I guess you just have to work on your word that you have not tainted the food like you did last time.
Oh, if you wish to investigate for yourself, it will be of no offense to me. In fact, heir apparent to Baedra. She looks over to Zephyr.
He is in the bathroom.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, I'll list everyone else's reactions. Humor, for his part, just shrugs and immediately starts digging in, not even waiting for the scene to pass. Caleb, your advisors kind of nervously investigate the food for themselves. The sorcerers just kind of nudge it away, not seeming completely comfortable. The giants, for their part, literally just pick it up in handfuls and eat it whole.
Oh, girl.
Oh, can Caleb? I believe, like, isn't it a thing that only like Ichor can reveal Ichor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caleb will just kind of give his advisor a look of just give me a second, like wait, and Caleb cuts it himself because he knows He knows if he cuts it, that would reveal the ichor, I believe, if I understand
Indeed.
it right.
Yeah, Dr. Knight explained it to you that ichor is naturally drawn to itself, so that's why it comes to the surface whenever an ichor beast injures another.
While he does
Is
that,
break something that has it in it.
Mm-hmm. And Lucian?
while he does that, I'll just kind of pipe up. Slapping him like that proves nothing. I mean, yeah, maybe this one is trained and these ones are trained, but what does that prove, really?
Well, I'd be more than happy to do the same to every ichor beast in Yav if you insist I must, but what can I do to make you more comfortable in my ball? It pains that you don't trust me, but I understand your hesitation. Our alliances are currently enemies, and I hope to use this opportunity to broker a peace.
I mean, guys, if it's offensive to you, your grace, but I will say, like we have just said, these creatures, um, they are known to be, and yeah, it's a little unsettling to see them in such a, you know, in such an environment as this one.
Oh, jeez, opening us up for.
You understand our hesitancy. I do beg your forgiveness.
She waves a hand calmly. If you do not wish to partake, you will not be forced. However, I have complete confidence in the good behavior of my servants, and she looks around slowly at the entire ballroom. It would pain me if my hospitality was to be rejected.
Mhm.
Caleb, as you cut carefully into the meat, no blackness to be seen. Not even the spots that were present in the original food. As far as that method can tell, this food seems clear.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and start cutting my meat up, and I would like to. She said we can investigate it, and it would not offend her.
She did.
So, using that, I'm going to take my time because I am a lady. I'm going to cut my meat into tiny pieces
Cut
and
my meat into pieces.
cut my meat into pieces. And while I do that, I will ritually cast detect magic.
Noted.
Like I said, I'm like delicately like, and like if at that point like I run out of meat to cut, I'll like just like cut into whatever else is on my plate, or like I'll grab Agnes's and just start like.
All right.
Let me help
Yes.
you. She's like,
Well,
seriously.
this might be a long shot, but I figure I might as well take it. Since Caleb spent, a good couple of years living with someone who did a lot of poisons, could Caleb tell if it's like traditionally poisoned?
Roll investigation.
What's this is eating already, but before any of this happened?
Yeah, I assume. Don't worry.
That's it. And is drinking heavily.
Alright,
He will be wasted before the dinner is over.
Noted.
15.
Caleb, looking over the meat, you can't identify what sort of meat it is, but it definitely doesn't appear to be poisoned. It is a little salty, but other than that, it seems safe.
I
Is
guess
it pork?
It seems like pork.
That's unsettling to me.
that's actually genuinely concerning.
Yeah, like that's genuinely like. I mean, I will make a like after.
I mean, that would be one hell of a twist by the frickin' Concord, but
You know what? I'm like I said. After I detect magic, and after that, I'm going to do something else.
All right, but it'll be some time since you're ritual casting.
yeah, Caleb, I guess Caleb will look to, his people with him is like, I don't see anything wrong with it. I guess all we have other than that is their word.
And I assure you my word is as good as the gold you Tebadrians favor so.
Oh.
But if you wish for something else, we do have other meals on offer. My servants can prepare just about anything you could ask for, within reason. Zephyr, are you back with us? The queen had indicated you earlier. I was waiting for you to get back. As you kind of perk up, she gives you a smile and if you won't take my word, almost all of you here know the discerning eye and, shall we say, caustic loyalty of Zephyr Tebadra. If any eye could see any attempt at subterfuge, it would be his. If you wish to investigate your serving and prove to everyone here that we have no ill intentions, please. So.
Why am I being dragged into this?
She just gives you a slight smirk and gives a shrug. Your friends don't trust me. I can't imagine why. I was hoping that you could alleviate their concerns.
Yeah, I don't see myself convincing at least them that you're trustworthy. Well, you're you, so.
She actually does smirk a bit at that. You can see Ergo's kind of give you a slightly offended glare, but Wyborn seems to take it on the chin and shrug. As you wish. But if you're not going to partake in my servings, I do hope you brought enough rations to last you the party.
I can always just go to a inn if I or store if it comes down to it.
We're a little far from civilization. But you may do as you wish. She takes one of the servings you had cut to test Caleb, picks it up and kind of looks it over before taking a bite and smiling at you.
Proves nothing.
Enjoy your... And she will head over to Humor's booth and sit with him along with Ergos.
That's interesting.
What is his request a second bottle?
He was planning on just getting drunk this whole time.
Yeah.
Seems like it. Begin to indulge. Lucian, you try to ritual cast your detection with the Concord in their booth. The Alliance is going to gather at your shared table. And let the pick. You guys wish to stay with the Alliance, head over to the Concord, or try and strike up a convo with the lesser noble?
I mean, first I want to know how my stuff turned out.
Yeah, which you will. I'm just saying, like, for those who can move.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm just gonna stay with the Alliance, and while he's like absent-mindedly eating, he's just muttering under his breath, "We're all fucked. We're all fucked."
Dimitri kind of tilts his head at you, Watts, curiously, but and kind of looks to you, Caleb, with a concern. But after kind of curiously sniffing at the meat, takes a cautious bite out of it and, seeming satisfied, shrugs and starts to dig in.
I'm going to guess it's fine. Maybe they want to use a different tactic.
I mean, if being friendly is their offense right now, it seems like it's working. As he gestures to What's-his clear panic, and Autumnfall visibly scrunching her nose in disgust at the Ickerbeast servants.
Well, you see, there's this thing called luring one into a false sense of security.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I assumed. But, for now, I haven't had anything like this in a while.
Guess there's not much to be done about it. If we turn it down, then that would complicate things.
Dimitri kind of gives you a cautious nod.
Caleb will just look over to Volpine. Unfortunately, if things go busy, it doesn't look like you're going to get to eat these ones.
He smirks and taking the entire plate of meat as he strips it to its core.
What did you say? You were kind of cutting out.
Sorry, my internet can be a little fuzzy. He basically strips the meat down to its core and grinning at you with blood on his teeth. I wouldn't be so sure.
I don't think you want to know what happens if you try to eat an Ichor beast.
He and kind of looks at one of the servants go by with a bottle of wine. They don't have much meat to be spared anyhow. And he just starts basically like picking up chunks of meat, stripping them with his teeth, and then putting what's left of it back on the plate, just systematically. Autumnfall watches the servants patrol with a disgusted expression. Ugh. Their performance is nauseating. I don't like how isolated we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, am I the only one who feels kind of outnumbered, even though there's twice as many of us?
Lucy,
Oh,
look, she can't say anything right now because she's, casting magic.
it gets better. It's not these guys we have to watch out for.
Oh, great.
Lucian narrows her eyes.
Why? What's going on? Are there spies? Assassins? She looks more excited by that prospect than
Well-
anything.
Well, yeah, there is.
Worse.
Assassin isn't one of the kings an assassin or something?
He used to be, but he's not anymore.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah,
Assassin.
it's worse.
That's what he wants you to think.
What'd you find out, man?
More likely than not, my sister is coming under the control of Kalun.
Yeah.
And she's not coming alone.
Great. The den of our enemies and their numbers only grow. We would do well to make sure our alliance connections are solid. Has anyone spoken to President Shadowlily?
Lucian kind of.
Caleb just looks at Lucian.
She's casting magic, so she's just like trying to look at you.
Someone did, but they're a little busy.
Oh, well, yeah, spellcasting, but, yeah, Lucian talked to her. Haven't heard anything from her myself yet, though. Well, someone keep an eye on her. The last thing we need is her turning tail.
Lucian kind of looks a little guilty at that.
And according to humor, my sister will be here in 4 days.
That means she'll be in time for the wedding. And suddenly, I'm not very comfortable with that. When the Hetman Dimebog arrives, I suggest you all keep a close eye on her. Roger Dodger.
Apparently, they're going to crash the wedding and kill everyone.
To happen.
Well, what's up, Caleb?
Well, I knew that was going to happen. It was probably part of how I was going to try to convince them to join us.
Unfortunately, I'm inclined to agree with His Majesty. It's unlikely they would let two of the most powerful maritime kingdoms come together in a permanent alliance against them. We'll have to be wary. They're likely going to attempt to get them onto their side before the wedding, or use what happens after as a turning point. We have to make sure they're on our side before that happens.
I planned on speaking with the Tsar to try to, as you know, one of the potential roadblocks to them in our alliance would be our relations.
Quite. Well, good on
And,
you for being diplomatic about this.
and when you do talk to them, please do go ahead and mention what we found out about my sister possibly bringing an army.
I will try to tell them about how we've heard on good word that the Concord is planning on ruining their day.
So, do request if the town does fight back, not to kill my sister if she could be taken alive.
Lucian just dagger eyes.
You have no room to talk.
How much longer?
It's about to be over. But Sundragon does give an approving nod. We'll do our best. And you can see she subtly puts a hand around Blackthorn's arm, and Blackthorn kind of pats her hand. Yeah, we can't let anything happen to her. Not before our big day. And she gives a cheerful smile.
That's all I ask.
Nobody's ruining Ika's wedding before it even gets to happen.
Exactly. I gotta make sure I get to keep my sister-in-law.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be siblings. She looks you up and down and kind of tilts her head curiously. I would say I've always wanted a big brother, but you just remind me a lot of my sister. Agnes kind of elbows her with a look that's somewhere between like offended, but also like, yeah, you know what, fair.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh
hold
my
on.
I'm literally dying, Matthew. Come on. Stop it.
You gotta stop ritual casting during dialogue.
I mean, what the fuck do you want, Matthew? Like, come on.
You have spell slots.
Fucking win.
Also, like out of character, Matthew. Isn't aren't like Sundragon and the Queen Blackthorn, aren't they like human, right?
Yes.
Because like, wait, and because okay, yeah, so it's a human and an elf. Because like, I always heard that elves didn't like humans in that way.
Lucian narrows her eyes.
Oh, trust me, we do. That's how half elves are created.
Yeah, she says it's like a really cute puppy. To be fair, everyone says you're like a puppy. Where did they get that from?
Oh my god, Matthew.
You can practically see her tail wagging.
Oh my god.
At this point, Lucian, you cast Detect Magic. The food nor the wine are magical. The only thing about the wine that gives you a signal is there's a little bit of wild magic laced into it, but you know that's actually normal for elvish wines. So it's likely just so the elvish guests can actually drink.
Aren't elvish wines like unbearably sweet? Anything that's not an elf?
Yeah, that's why this is basically a mix, so that like elves can drink it and get drunk, even though it's not like they're basically it like to an elf. This drink will essentially be like regular liquor. Like it tastes terrible, but it gets you drunk. Whereas for humans and elves, it's just like, you know, it's wine, like, you know, fairly sweet, has a fragrance to it, gets you where you want to be.
Who get drunk on wine?
Someone who's
Classless.
desperate.
So now that that's over, Lucian will say, well, you know, speaking of siblings, I don't know if she told you, but Aggie and I are dating.
Blackthorn's eyes shoot up, and she looks to Agnes with a kind of furrowed brow and pushes her arm. Another one? What? I'm popular. You know I'm not a one and doneer like you. You need to get married at some point. Again.
That's what I'm looking for, actually.
Wait, again?
Wait, again?
Can I history check that?
Roll history.
May I also do that?
You may roll history.
What's the quality of the food, Matthew?
A little salty, but otherwise really good, actually.
Really do not want to eat this meat.
You don't eat meat anyways.
I know, but like it would be rude if I didn't. Is my point.
That's politics.
Yeah, it turns out you can't be vegetarian and be a politician, apparently.
I mean, basically, if the politician wants to fuck with you, yeah. Basically, any weakness they can exploit, they'll exploit it.
Ooh.
Too bad for them. I don't give a crap.
That's what you.
And I rolled a 15.
Yeah, but I think.
I rolled an 18, and I have a +10.
Oh no, I bet there's more. There's probably more things that Zephyr cares about than you realize.
I realize.
Yeah, than even he realizes.
And Lucian, both of you are at least like vaguely aware. Your knowledge is a little broader, so as usual, I'll give the what both of you know, and then specify what Lucian uniquely knows. But Sundragon, as mentioned, goes to war frequently, and part of the conditions of surrendering to Sundragon when she beats you is that she wants marriage to a bride of her choice. And more often than not, that ends up being the princesses or even queens of the kingdoms she attacks. As a result, she has been on and off married to various Yavik nobles over the years. Never officially divorcing, but never really emphasizing the marriage itself either.
What does that mean? She never attacks if they don't have at least one female heir?
Honestly, like, historically, there probably is a precedent for that. Lucian, you would know that specifically she has been on and off in relationships on that level with Autumnfall, Shadow Lily, Spear Maiden, and there's even rumors that she did with Wicket once.
And I also know that she also dated, yeah, like you said, Autumnfall.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my brain quit on me, and I was like, did he say Autumnfall?
Yes. And you would also know that she's had her eye on attacking Wyson for that same reason, but never got around to it.
Well, she missed her chance at that.
Well, she's nothing if not ambitious.
Yeah. Like I said, I've kind of been hoping for marriage, but, you know, I'm not a princess, so...
So what?
Who said that? Aggie?
Sundragon.
Oh, interesting. I mean, like I said, that's gonna be your call.
Yeah, sure. Whenever you feel like it. She takes a sip of the wine.
Lucian's face is like beet red.
Well, I guess in a way, then Tabedra and Sundragon are natural allies in that way, because there's literally never a time you would ever want to attack us.
She kind of laughs and gives you like a playful like roll of the eyes. Come on, I'm Yav's hottest bachelorette and you know it. Besides, But
Probably the wrong person to be questioning about those kinds of things.
Dimitri gives a nod, and she gives a bit of a shrug, and I can't fault you for lacking taste.
I think you're hot.
Autumnfall.
That.
Yeah, Caleb, Autumnfall, and fucking
Like,
Song.
I feel like
all
the entire,
immediately. We
I feel like
know.
the entire room just goes, we know.
Even from like the concourse side, you could.
Everybody in the entire room, just it's collective.
We know.
One of the fucking Icarpete servants. We know.
We know.
Doors
just
open.
kinda like-
Fucking Wyson and Crime Soon just got here. We know.
Lizzie
Some-
just kind of like
somewhere-
sits back in
somewhere
the
in
booth
Wick-
and
Somewhere in Wicked, fucking Lucian's brother is like, oh, they know.
Yeah, we know.
I drink.
I feel like the drone that's like flying up, flittering above my head just goes.
Fucking
Yeah, but
watching through those motherfuckers. Like,
Yeah.
everyone doesn't
We
fucking
know.
know.
We definitely know.
But in seriousness, focusing. Blackthorn kind of
I
whispers.
need art of this now.
Blackthorn looks to Sundragon with a visibly irritated expression and just. You know, it's important for you to actually marry somebody. It's different here. So what? I don't think it's that big of a deal. One person puts on a suit, one person gets a way too expensive dress, and you act like you're gonna love each other forever. It's not that complicated.
Act. Lucian
Yeah.
kind of looks a little hurt at that.
Wait, Matthew.
Oh,
If I remember right, in Tabedra, isn't the tradition that one of them has to kidnap the other?
Yeah, it's normally staged since it's just been a long-standing tradition. But yes, southern Yavik countries often partake in the marriage tradition of one of them staging a kidnapping of the other.
yeah. So
Okay.
when she says
Also, let them kidnap.
Lucian doesn't really say anything to that. She's kind of like more like shocked that she said act like we love each other, and she just kind of like oh, and just goes really really quiet.
Oh my goodness.
And to you, Caleb, Agnes gives a smirk and a nod. Oh, you guys got some taste. Romance really isn't dead.
Also, Caleb like has a realization, looks to Dimitri like, Dimitri, I guess I'll have to do it because you'd have your work cut out for you now.
Fuck you! I'm kidnapping you.
And you would do very good at it, Dimitri.
The only person who's ever tried to kidnap me is my own brother. What does that say?
Ew.
he beat Caleb to it.
Yeah, Caleb and Dimitri at the same time. Just ew. I'm sure there's somebody out there who will kidnap you someday, Mr. Lefkier.
Who's
Dimitri.
oh? Dimitri, that's not really helpful, but thanks.
Caleb looks to his dad. Which one of you did it?
He gives a little bit of a smirk, and gentleman never kisses and tells. He sips at his wine.
That's funny.
It was his mother, your mother.
Caleb incites his own father.
Roll insight.
And I do say that part out loud.
Is he,
Oh, no,
roll-
I don't.
is he rolling deception?
Maybe.
Okay, 18.
Lucy just kind of, at this point, is picking at her food, thinking about what Aggie said.
And Caleb, you know for pretty comfortable fact that he was probably the kidnapper, because traditionally, whoever got kidnapped while they're being quote-unquote held hostage, the person who got kidnapped will have their hair braided by their kidnapper, and your mother always had her hair in braids.
Fun fact of the day, so does Lucian.
But she's there kidnapped.
She? I mean,
By her brother.
he literally just said.
Well, this is nobility.
Literally though.
I'm getting a Game of Thrones vibe.
Agnes kind of leans forward and grins at the two of you at your banter. Ah, that's sweet. Even Autumnfall does give a slight smile, and Song kind of eyes the two of you. Well, aren't the two of you an odd couple? Although, you notice to his credit, he doesn't seem at all plussed by the fact that Dimitri's a peasant.
Hey, officially, he's a trusted advisor to the king.
Just like how the I can't remember what kingdom it was, but military advisor or whatever. But Blackthorn continues to quietly scold Agnes for refusing to actually commit to any of their many rights.
Right, and Lucy is just sitting here listening to it, picking at her shoes and moping. Nobody cares.
Zephyr, while all this is happening, what are you doing?
Being Zephyr.
I assume, but just in case.
Honestly, he's just kind of bored.
Politics.
He's Zephyring.
Yeah, he's not
He hasn't
stealing
tried
or
to
picking
rob anyone
pockets.
Give him
Still,
time.
yeah, you have still days.
He's
He's got to case it first.
Yeah, case it, and also you gotta you can't do it at the beginning because then people will get all suspicious and you have to stay here for a couple days. That'd be hard to do.
the murder of the Winter Ball.
But
It's like everyone gets it gathered like fucking Clue.
Hey, don't beat me to my own plot hook, Zephyr. Jeez.
Again.
Yeah, again.
That was Caleb.
What did Caleb do?
Didn't you just mention that?
I'm just guessing plot hooks really far in advance.
Oh,
Shit. But Zep, so you gonna do anything, or you just kind of chilling?
you know what, let's go to the office.
Okay.
well, I spoke too soon.
I tried to Zephyr just ears twitched and just well, now it's a point of pride. As you all quite literally wine and dine, the Alliance, for their part, for now, brushing off the fear of the bigger beasts in Concord and making light with each other, as at least for now, everyone seems kind of quietly on the same page, that at least for now, there's nothing much you can do but hope that as more kingdoms show up, that they will come to a reasonable judgment on the situation. For now, the ball is pretty much exclusively your allies and your enemies, with only Shadow Lily on the outskirts. Zephyr, as you reach the elevator, you can see the various rooms are marked. Let me pull up my map of the tower again. So yeah, you can see, just as a refresh, since I know it's been a minute, you're currently at the ballroom, but you can see above you is the guest house, the bathhouse, the office at the very top, and then below that you can see marked kitchen and dungeon.
Ooh, dungeon.
Kinky.
Alright, let's see what that's all about.
The dungeon?
Yeah.
Fucking immediately.
After being said, hey, these floors are off limits.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
They said you can go anywhere up, just don't go down. But granted, they
Well,
said
no.
it more in the sense of there's
They
servants
recommend.
down there. You don't really need to, your nobility. You don't need to worry about servants.
Yeah, they never said it's forbidden, more that they recommended not.
Yeah.
But
Just it's boring down there.
either way, I'm gonna go down there.
right.
Learning is important.
As you slowly lower to the bottom floors of the lighthouse.
Oh, going where we're not supposed to go, I see.
Indeed. As you make your way down and the door opens, you can see you're in a dark, empty, completely metallic room. It's dark down here. With your dark vision, yep, you have dark vision, so you can at least see basically. You can see that there is a walkway that extends out in front of you, and at the very back end of it is this large doorway. However, you can see over that doorway is an eye that's gazing at the walkway in front of it. The eye's giving off a glow, and you can basically see the area it's looking based on like a spotlight.
Well, we'll cast Detect Magic. Keep ahead, anything about that?
Zephyr, as you send a detection pulse in all directions, you can see the eye is indeed magical. It's giving off divination magic.
Good, that's good.
Not the word I would have used.
Oh, that means
It's the word he's using.
good for spying. So, and I guess as the, just in case, you know, I just feel like, why not? I'm gonna just kind of ignore them and just kind of keep walking toward the area. I will say, just in case, I don't know if it will, probably, it might still trigger, but I do have my amulet.
Ooh, let me double check that. Thank you for reminding me.
Are hidden from divination magic. Can't be targeted by such magic or pierced to magical scrying senses.
Ooh.
Okay, noted. Thank you for reminding me. Zephyr? And now, Zephyr, are you still making an attempt to be stealthy, or are you just like go in broad daylight to see if it can pierce you?
I'm just going broad daylight. Just right.
Okay. Zephyr, as you cross the bridge, you watch as the eyes glow goes over you, pauses for only a moment before continuing on, as if it hadn't seen you at all. You can see the metal door beneath the eye has one of those turn locks, like a vault, but you can attempt to open it if you wish. You can see that beneath you is a deep pit. You don't know what's at the bottom. And stretching in all directions around you, basically between like where the dungeon is and where the elevator is, are these dark kind of like pinkish red walls.
Pinkish red walls?
Yes. However, you notice the wall like that you're going to is instead this kind of dull, kind of tanny brown color instead. So like the wall you just came from is pinkish red. The wall you're going to is a kind of brownish.
Alright.
You can only see color because of the glow the eye's giving off. Yeah, so do you wish to try and open the door?
I think, do I want a lantern to see more detail? I'm like, then I can't use my hands as well, and
It's a whole thing.
yeah. So, so I'll just open the door normally.
All right, make a strength check.
Oh. Yes. Okay. So natural 20.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Good.
Zephyr? Oh, please.
I was just like good, because otherwise I don't know. Because like technically it's an 18, so yeah.
Zephyr, you quietly, completely undetected, skitter up the wall and kind of using your feet as leverage rather than try and wrestle with it, you manage to kick the turn into motion, and after a bit of quiet rotation, it unlocks and you slide the door open. Do you wish to proceed further?
I've already gone this far.
Okay. In the room before you, you see a variety of boxes and carts are gathered up. You can see there's another one of those eyes surveying the room on the rightmost wall. The carts are mostly filled with jars and vials of materials that you can't identify at a glance. The crates, you don't know what's inside. You can see at the opposite end of the room from you is a kind of like grill door. Like, not like a door that's like, you know, blocking what's on the other side, but more like one of those like grates, like what the elevator door looks like. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you wish to proceed?
Yeah, I'll probably just kind of keep proceeding until something like fully blocks his path or something kind of comes after him. Then he'll be like, okay, well, that's right. But of course, he'll leave the door behind him, you know, not shut the way out.
Okay. With the eyes unable to detect you, you cross the room and hoist the great door open. And you can see in this room are various drawers and switches, presumably controlling various things in the lighthouse. You can see ropes and pulleys from those things. But what more catches your eye is you can see the floors are this kind of tile material with, while you can't identify the color, you can identify their dark spatters of color around the room. And you can see there's another grate type door at the opposite end. Definitely some kind of servant's quarters. But more notably, you see that hanging from the ceiling are cages. And in those cages, you can see movement. You hear these bubbling, slurping sounds coming from them, but they're too high up for you to get an immediate glance at what's in them. What do you do?
I mean, I can, especially based off the sound, like, kinda.
You can kind of gather.
Yeah. Kinda gather that is not good. Not good indeed. Is my assumption that.
Not an unfair one.
But. And I don't wish to freeze them. At least not yet. I'll hold that in my pocket. Sometimes chaos could be good.
Gonna keep moving or head back for now?
Just keep going. Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. As you make your way to the great door on the opposite end of this room, you can see that. Let me check your. Yeah. You can see a slight current of magical energy running through the grate. You don't know exactly what it'll do, but there's no way for you to get it open without touching it, and it's surging with energy. However, you can see through it, as mentioned. It is a grate. You can see on the other side of this room, it appears to be a bedroom. You can see there is a hall leading off from this room, as well as a door heading further in. However, this is like a trap door, like that goes deeper rather than like a traditional one. But from that corridor leading elsewhere, you hear a familiar and unwelcome sound. As, while you can't see it yet, you can hear it. An Ichor Beast is down here with you. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Damn, it's already 10 o'clock? What the fuck?
The political dance continues. The party attempts to keep things friendly and welcoming with the nobility, friendly or otherwise. However, Shadow Lily may have been potentially alienated from further dialogue with the Alliance. The Concord members appear as friendly to each other as ever, and are deliberately poking at you under the guise of hospitality, forcing you to continue enduring more and more discomforts in order to appease them and not look bad in front of the other nobility. Blackthorn, however, in good news, has agreed to join you, and if you can travel to Blackthorn and persuade her army, might even be able to loan you some of her famous sharpshooters. However, she has promised that even if they don't, if she is given the time to prepare, she will happily join the fight herself. So, you may have lost potentially one ally, but you appear to have gained another. But not all is well. As the Concord continues to poke at you, Lucian is unhappy with the news that Agnes appears to have gone through the motions of relationships time and time again. You were warned that Dimebog may be a danger to those at the wedding, and you may be forced to fight what's his sister and Blackthorn's fiance in order to save the lives of the nobility and make sure the wedding goes smoothly. And as Zephyr explores the servants' areas of the lighthouse, you have found evidence of Ichor beasts being kept out of the public eye. Perhaps Zephyr will unearth secrets that the Concord doesn't want shared.
At least not yet.
Yet. You may not want to be nobility, Zephyr, but you think like one.
Yeah. I mean, nobility.
Check out our website.
Just
Oh,
fancy.
please.
I was just saying, nobility are just fancy businessmen.
I mean, you're not wrong. Check out our website at officiald5hub.info. Down for maintenance at the moment, soon to be ready from the grave like a filthy necromancer who just wants their love life to be smooth for once. Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly. I will be posting that after the session. Support our episodes. Post on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and the iHeart Podcast Network, where you get your podcast from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/OddTornadoProductions. Check out Odd Tornado Productions official on Tumblr to find links for other works, including our His Majesty's Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Killer5. That is 5 with a PH. Do not get it wrong. And if you enjoy what we do and want to support us, please support us on Patreon. That link will be posted after the session. On Ko-fi at kofi.com/OddTornadoProductions. And follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TornadoOdd. The TNO are capitalized if you want to get immediate updates whenever we go live, as well as updates on everything else we're working on. And if you want to see more of this party, plus or minus a few, tune in Thursdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time for our Thursday game, Under Locks and Keys, featuring a party of globe-trotting treasure hunters assembling the artifacts of the gods in a race against technology-worshipping cultists. Thanks everyone at the table so much for playing, thanks everyone at home so much for watching, and we'll see you all next week.